Dave Hughes here, and joining us now on the air and on SuperTalk TV, we have the Executive Director of the Madison County Economic Development Authority, Joey Deason. Joey, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Dave. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Oh, most definitely. Just give us a 1,000-yard view, an overview. How are things going in Madison County right now?
Well, actually, we had one of our annual events yesterday. It's called the Vision Celebration, and we had probably between 500 and 600 people attend the event. So we did do a 1,000-foot view. Everything is going extremely well for Madison County at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot of good activity and projects that are taking place, and we talk beyond things. Everybody's aware of AWS, okay? Everybody's aware of Topgolf. Everybody's aware of UMMC, the medical office buildings that are being constructed and built. And you just take a look around, and it's construction, it's permitting fees, and it's people that are moving here to the community, not just from within the state, but from all over the globe. With AWS, I can personally tell you there's probably been about 10 to 15 people so far that have moved here from out of state. So things are very positive at the moment.
Well, and that's one thing that I think people miss, because we're used to new businesses opening all around the state, but the majority of them are Mississippi people opening a Mississippi business, employing Mississippi people. A lot of these things that you're talking about, like AWS, which is such a huge deal, that is bringing people, and 10 to 15, that's just a trickle of the beginning of what we're going to see coming into the state because of that project, isn't it?
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. You know, I just noticed if you're looking over what would I guess would be my left shoulder over here, you can see a neon green hard hat. That was actually from a project that we celebrated last week, and it's called Salad Days, which is located in Flora. Which Salad Days is building a hydroponic farm there in the industrial park and going to create 15 new jobs, and it's $8 million. And it's a great celebration about agriculture, something that's very different from AWS.
Well, and something that's different in general. Let's talk about this for a minute. So it's a hydroponic farming business, is what you said, right?
That is absolutely correct. You know, Flora has its own little food ecosystem that's occurring out there, and we're trying to develop that with the city and the town of Flora. You've got Two Dog Farms, you've got Salad Days, you've got Dave's Triple B, and little shops are opening up out there just one after another. But Salad Days basically serves the Jackson metro area. With this expansion, I believe they're going to be able to reach probably markets down to New Orleans, up to Memphis, potentially even over to Dallas. So they're looking to expand. And if Dave, if you've never seen one of these hydroponic farms, I would suggest at some point you come out and visit us, because I'd like to take you out there to walk through. It's some of the best lettuce that you will ever have in your life.
Well, and I would love to do that, definitely, Joey. That's what I love about that, though, and why I focused on that one when you mentioned it, because we kind of fall into a rut sometimes, a trap of, thinking about business, and, it's an office and there are people sitting at desks and they make this widget or they handle this service. And now you've got hydroponic farming, which is kind of out of left field for some people. They're going to hear that and go, wait, they're doing what, where, what is that? But I think that illustrates the breadth of business, both in terms of opportunity and in what we have here in the state and there in Madison County, as opposed to what everybody thinks it is, I think.
Well, look, that's one of the things as an economic developer here in Madison County, and economic developers in all of the counties throughout the state should be focusing on. Number one, you need to try to diversify. Nissan came 20 years ago. We were known as an OEM, automotive Nissan county. Now we've got Amazon. So now people maybe look at it as a data center IT tech community. But we're blessed to have both of those. So one of the focuses that we're going to highly focus on moving forward is that food sector. We want to diversify a little further along and make sure that we have all our bases covered.
So now Madison County, what you're telling me, is going to be an automotive, high-tech, and hydroponic farming community. Let's just keep tacking terms onto it, right?
Look, that's a great tagline. Uh, one of the things that I focused on when we got here, we didn't want to just hit home runs. We wanted to hit a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. We wanted to hit the cycle. And fortunately enough, we've been very successful at that.
The singles keep you in the game until the home run happens. That's just the way it works.
Yes.
You got to hit those singles. You got to hit those doubles. Every once in a while you ground out, but that's the game. That's the way you play. Let me ask you this, because I'm sure some eyebrows went up when you said about the hydroponic farming at Salad Days. Would you, and it's not strange, it's not odd, it's just not something anybody thinks of, would you say that's probably the more unusual, more out of the realm of what people consider normal business thing that you have had locate to your area?
I would agree with that, Dave. When you look at what most people consider economic development, especially here in the state, and we're good at it, it's manufacturing. That's what gets most of the headlines. It's the investment, it's the jobs. Now that we've moved with AWS and Amazon into .com and to IT services, you look at what we've done with hydroponics, and what we hope to do further with hydroponics is to expand that, because I think they're going to be very successful. So when you look at what most people consider economic development, hydroponics is far out to the right or far out to the left, and no one considers that. But that's what makes Madison County so special, is because we don't just consider large projects, we work all projects. And it's that base hit.
Well, and I've talked so much, and I've asked you several questions about the hydroponic thing for one very important reason. At least I feel it's important. That's for people listening to realize, you know what? There are a lot of opportunities out there that I don't even know exist, much less have given any thought to. And that's how we grow as a state, and that's how Madison County and the Madison County area grows, is by broadening its scope. Would you think that's a fair statement?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, as an economic developer, you have to explore all the options. And I'm not going to begin to tell you all the wild, crazy ideas that come into this office on a daily basis, okay? But you work those projects until such time that you understand that it's either a good project or a bad project. And most communities are afraid to say no because they haven't won something in a while. But you've got to be very, very careful when you hire that director, because you need somebody, and you need to have that relationship with your boards so that you do have a team that's not afraid to say no sometimes.
That's the hardest thing to do, because this is someone's, possibly their dream. This is their idea. This is something that they're invested in, and to look them in the face and tell them no, what they don't realize is you may be doing them a favor as well as yourself when you say that, because sometimes ideas look great on paper, and then it might not necessarily go that way. And having someone with the experience and the knowledge and the team, as you're talking about, is a valuable asset for people looking to start a business too. And we have to look at that aspect of it and look at it that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Dave, a lot of people need to understand that these projects, these businesses, a lot of them have life cycles, okay? We hope that at the end of the day, they're here for 200 years. But for example, you probably are aware that Levi, which was one of the first corporate citizens that located here in Madison County, right there in Gluckstadt, who owns a valuable asset of about 750,000 square feet right at the interchange, is set to close by the end of the year. Okay, so
I tell you what, Joey, we're up against the break. If you can hold that, because I want to hear the rest of this. I want to give you a chance to talk about this. So we'll continue after the break with Joey Deason, Executive Director of the Madison County Economic Development Authority and hydroponic farmer. When we return, no, he's not actually doing it, but you know what I mean. We'll continue with him on Middays in the Element Well Studios next. Keep it here. We're talking with Joey here on Middays, live in the Element Well studio, about Madison County. He's the Madison County Economic Development Authority Executive Director. And you started talking about it when we were coming up on the break. I wanted to make sure that we gave this attention because we did get some news that Levi's is leaving the area, right?
That is correct. It's our understanding that the building and the employees will be, I think the warn notice was actually issued yesterday or the day before, but by the end of the year, the facility will close. And it's a unfortunate situation that we're here. Number one, Levi's, I believe, began their operations here in 1979. So we're talking 40 plus years, almost 45 years of having that industry here as a part of our economy, and we're very, very grateful. Now, we're obviously very, very fortunate because over the last 45 years, what's grown around the Levi facility is the city of Gluckstadt, the city of Madison, the city of Canton. So there's a lot of growth there. So we're left with a great asset, and what we're left with as well is a great trained workforce. And we have so many job openings right now, and we have so many companies that are looking for those employees that I don't think there's going to be any issues or problems putting those people to work at all.
Well, and that's to me one of the biggest tricks, because you hear that and you read the headline as Levi's leaving the area after 40 plus years, and you're like, oh my goodness, that's horrible news. Well, yeah, you don't want them to go, don't get me wrong, but that actually presents kind of a big opportunity for the area too.
It does. I mean, obviously, all of those employees have an opportunity to take advantage of the maybe a higher wage scale at this point, because there's such a hunger out there for those talented people. And, one of the most difficult things to do as an economic developer is when a facility closes down and you're 48 to 56 years old and you're not quite at retirement age, but you're close. It's difficult to find those people jobs. But in today's economy, with what we're faced with, I think those individuals are going to have no issues whatsoever. So we've actually been working with the Mississippi Department of Employment Security, Bill Ashley and his team there, and the Central Mississippi PDD. And we actually plan on having a Levi job fair on Monday, December the 2nd. And it's going to be open only to the Levi employees there. And we anticipate having up to 25 companies represented there so that they can talk one-on-one with those employees.
See, and that's fantastic. And it probably softens the blow a little bit for those employees when you put together something like this. And Bill over at Employment Security, great guy, knows his stuff. But you guys have put this together, and now those employees, some of whom may be in that situation you're talking about, and they ever since the announcement have been thinking, oh, now what do I do? What am I going to do? That's going to bring a little peace of mind to them that there's 20 to 25 companies that are coming at the start of December to try to convince them to come to work for their company as soon as they're done with Levi's. That's got to calm the waters a little bit, I would think.
Well, look, most people don't know this about my past history, but I worked for General Motors for about 18 years. And then a spinoff of that was the Delphi Automotive Components Group, which went through a bankruptcy, an SEC investigation. So there were a lot of things of uncertainty. So I know exactly how these employees feel when you don't know where you're going to go to next. So a lot of the employees have already got new jobs. They've moved on. The employees that remain, most of them are probably getting bonuses to stay till the end of the period when they're going to shut down the facility. And the other good thing is, and I'm not at liberty to tell exactly who it is, but there's a lot of interest on that building right now with existing companies that are very eager to take a look inside. And a lot of them have already taken a look inside. As a matter of fact, we're taking MDA and the project managers through the building next week as well, so that they're aware of the asset and the opportunity should they get something into their office that would be a good fit for that facility.
So if we were going to make a bet, if we were going to put money down, the safe money would be on that facility won't sit empty for long.
That is absolutely correct. It's a large facility. Don't get me wrong, Dave. I mean, it's 750,000 square feet, and it's going to take a very customized user to do that. But if not, there are plenty of private developers who want to take that 750 and make it a usable space for not one company, but maybe 10 companies.
That's a very good point. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to change on the fly to make something happen, but you're making the right moves. And I just can't emphasize enough how much I love that you've already set up that Levi's only job fair for the people that are still there. But you're exactly right, and I think we hear this across the board. I'm sure you hear this every day. We are in the era of everyone screaming no one wants to work anymore. Well, there are jobs everywhere, and most of the people that want to work already have one. And if they don't, they can find one pretty quickly, can't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would expect, and I'm not going to make predictions, but I would expect that through this job fair on December 2nd, the majority, if not all of those employees will have employment by the end of the year, if not by the first quarter of next year.
And that's all you can ask. It's to quote a favorite author of mine, it's raining soup, grab a bucket. If you're looking for a way to advance your career, if you're looking for a way to find a job or to find the job of your dreams or just a job, period, there's almost never been a better time than right now. Opportunities are everywhere, it seems.
Well, for example, I mean, AWS, who's been using our office here because they don't have their buildings constructed yet, I think they're already up to about 75 to 100 employees that they've hired, and a majority, if not all, are local talent. And I've been meeting with the HR and the operations people, and they're just blown away by the depth of talent and the diversity that we have right here within the Jackson metro area. Now, we've been very fortunate because some of the employees have moved in from other states because they gave them the option to work here at this facility. So we're getting to see both sides of it. One unnamed company told me the other day that they lost one of their IT people, and I found out who it was, and I did a little background and research. Basically, they doubled their salary. So this project is going to change the lives of a lot of families all throughout the Jackson metro and the state of Mississippi.
So what would be your advice, being so plugged into economic development in Madison County, what would be your advice to someone who is sitting there right now, they're listening to this and they're saying, yeah, well, I want to find something better, or I need a job and I can't find anything. Well, what would you tell them to do?
Numerous things. Number one, even on the Makita website, we list all the jobs on our website of every company that sends their job openings to us, so that anybody that visits, not only companies, but individuals that are looking for jobs, look at our website. It's right there in front of you. Reach out. I've had people personally reach out to me, and I will reach out to the companies on their behalf. So if you're looking for a job, if it's not here in Madison, you're going to find it in the Jackson metro. You can find it at the Golden Triangle region. You can find it up at DeSoto and Marshall County. There are jobs all throughout this state. And there's jobs for not just those individuals that are getting laid off at Levi, but there's jobs for graduates. There's jobs for these people that think they've got to move to Nashville or Austin or somewhere. There's jobs and opportunities and quality of life right here for them.
Well, personally, from the outside looking in, you're doing a fantastic job up there. Everybody with the Development Authority and everybody in Madison County doing a fantastic job. It is explosive growth up there over the last year or two. That's the only way I can think of to describe it. And you guys should be commended for that. Good job.
Well, yesterday we had the Vision Celebration, and we had an AWS speaker, Ms. Hillary Lambert, that was there on behalf of AWS. She said what we've done here in the last 2 years would take other communities 10 years to perform.
Well, of course, we're better than they are. My grandma used to tell me you got to toot your own horn. Nobody else will play the right tune. So keep tooting that horn, Joey. Keep tooting that horn. Keep doing the good job, and keep us updated on what's going on, okay?
Thank you, Dave.
Joey Deason, Executive Director of the Madison County Economic Development Authority. He can even say economic on the first try, so he's better than me. We will continue here on Middays, live in the Element Well studios, right after this.